Modern Mystics, Mavericks, and Romantics. It's me, Erin, and I'm back with another video. So this is going to be what you're manifesting this Capricorn new moon. Is going to happen on Wednesday at night, or actually it's going to happen at like 12 a.m. Eastern time. So this Capricorn new moon is a really fun one. It is conjunct the sun and as well as Pluto, so a great time to do rituals for something in the that you really want to do in the long term. But I wanted to see what you guys were manifesting, what was coming up for you, what is this going to light up in your life, what it's going to bring forth a new beginning. New moons are always new beginnings. So when we think of a new moon, we think of something that's going to be new, that we're bringing to fruition, as opposed to full moons, which is like a release of something. It's more of an ending to something, since it is the last phase. So let's see what you're bringing in. Let's see what you're starting. Let's see what you're manifesting. Pick a card that is, or a pile that is going to be, Hello, group number one. This is what you're manifesting this Capricorn new moon, what you're going to be starting in your life, the new adventure that you are going to be on, that this Capricorn new moon is lighting up. So let's get started with this. Starting with the tarot cards here, we have the Eight of Swords and Judgment. Ooh, heavy themes, pile number one. Heavy themes. The Eight of Swords feels like being trapped in a situation that you don't want to be in. It is the card that tends to have to do with a mental trap, since Swords deals with the mind. So you might find yourself in a place, or you have been in a place in the past, where you feel like you've been trapped in your own situation. And now it's time for you to actually take action. Since Judgment is making that judgment call, it's taking the action and doing the thing that you need to do. And maybe this part of this is that you are in a place where you're trying to start something new in your life, but you've been holding yourself back. Maybe there may be other people holding you back, or just the way that you're viewing your situation is causing you to hold yourself back. And Spirit's really asking you, like, and telling you that there's no other information that you need in order to make this judgment call. There's nothing else that you need. You have everything that you could possibly need to make this judgment call, and now it's time for you to actually make it and not sit around and wait for more things to happen. You're not trapped in your situation. It might feel like you're trapped, but you're not trapped. So you need to make that judgment call and get out of the situation that you are in, because it is causing you a lot of harm. And this is going to be the beginning of that journey for you. The journey of moving on. Maybe, I think a lot of you guys are moving out from your place, moving on from a job, or even moving on from a relationship that's been exploitative to you. Maybe you've had situations where you feel like people are not seeing your work in the best light, and you feel as though things are just, you're being exploited in some kind of way. You know, Judgment can be very heavy in the way that it shows up to tell us, like, it's time to cut this person off, or it's time to cut this job off, or it's time to stop wasting our time. It can be kind of harsh in that way. So you might have to make that swift judgment call if someone's in your life, and you might just have to give them the snip. They may not even be a bad person. It may not even be a bad job, but it's not like aligned with who you are and your life purpose, and that's really important. And if it isn't aligned, it isn't aligned. There's no other information that you need. It's time for you just to move on and to choose to leave this trap that you have been in. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at these two cards here. We have Shifty Eyes and the Pimp. Okay. It says, rid yourself of people that abuse their power and stick around only for their own personal gain. You are stronger than you know. Summon your inner warrior. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you guys are dealing with someone who's been like exploitative to you, who may maybe like people at work who are taking the credit for your work and not giving you that credit, or maybe friends who've been taking advantage of you, or you know, even a relationship. Maybe you have a partner who's just like not doing their part, you know. And then we also have Shifty Eyes. When your attention is split, you risk losing it all. Nobody likes to feel like they're not important. Pay attention to what's in front of you. So right now, Spirit is asking you again, like, make that judgment call. What you're manifesting into your life is action. Like, there's nothing else that you need to know about this situation, about this person, about this job that is new and that is going to help you make a decision. It's decision time. It's time to cut that person off. It's time to leave that job. It's time to move out. It's time to cut those friends off. It's time to get out of that relationship. And it's time for you to focus on what you know you should have already been focusing on. And I feel like you guys have been splitting your attention with a whole bunch of different people and projects and different things. And it's not necessarily what you want to do. Instead, it's the excuse that you keep giving yourself in order to not wake up and choose your path. You keep telling yourself, well, I have to stay at this job because if I don't have this job, then I won't make this money. And I have to be friends with this person because we've been friends since childhood. And I have to stay in this relationship because, you know, we've gone through so much. And at the end of the day, you don't have to do that. No one's forcing you to do that. You're choosing this situation. And Spirit is like telling you to kind of wake up and choose something different because this isn't working anymore. Which I'm sorry, pile number one, because I feel like Spirit's kind of been like a little bit aggressive and is trying to give you a little bit of a wake-up call. It's like, focus, choose things that are good for you, and leave behind what doesn't work. All right, so let's go ahead and look at these last two cards. We have communication is key and your commitment is being tested. Whew! So if there's something that you've been trying to do, and you're being asked, like, do you want to, like, choose your life purpose, or do you want to choose to continue to play around with these other people or these other obligations that you know are not for you? We also have the communication is key card. So that means this might very much have to do with a person in your life. You might have to set some pretty harsh boundaries. And this is the start of you showing up in your full potential because you're setting boundaries with coworkers, friends, relationships, whatever you need to set that boundary at, you know, and your commitment is being tested. I think a lot of you, you know, I'm sensing for a lot of you might have issues with parents, like your parents are not giving you, you know, not allowing you to leave the nest when you need to. You might have parents who are being really nosy in your life. Maybe you're trying to get married or have a kid or do something else, but you have parents in your life who are trying to meddle and you need to just set boundaries with them, or family members or friends, and you just have to say, look, my life is, you know, I'm living my life the way that I want to live it. And if it's something that you don't like, it's something that you don't like. And I don't know what to tell you, but this is how I'm living it. And I know that could be really scary because you're afraid that you're going to lose that relationship. But 9 times out of 10, when you set boundaries with people, the only people who truly get upset about that are people who are truly benefiting from you having no boundaries at all. And if that is the case, then you need to let that person out of your life anyway. And it was time for that person to go anyway because they were exploiting you. Like this pimp card, they're exploiting you. They're taking from you. They're taking your energy. Energy is something that you cannot get back once it's been spent. You only get so much of it a day. They're taking your energy. They're taking your time. They're taking up your mental space thinking about them. And are you going to let them continue to do that, or are you going to choose to be committed to your soul's path and what you want to do in your life? And that's the question that Spirit is presenting you with right now. It's, you know, which is kind of difficult, I'm not going to lie, but it's also something that can be good for you. And it's a start of a new path that you actually want to be on. So don't get discouraged. Just set those boundaries, you know, and with the communication is key here, like being able to clearly state your boundaries, being able to clearly state how you're feeling is going to be very healing in this particular situation. So let's pull out a few more messages for you from my little flower deck. I love this deck. It's so pretty. Okay. Any other final words from Spirit here? We have your intention, okay? The Chinese star, Jasmine. So your intention is key here. You know, there might be something that you have been intending to do for a long time and you've been having a lot of doubts about it. So your intention here is key. Create that intention and follow it, because that's what's going to make your life 100% better. And that's the path that you're supposed to be on right now. So that's what I have for you, group number one. Let me know how it resonates. Let me know what you're going through right now, and if there's people in your life who you need to set boundaries with, but you're having a really hard time with. Let me know. I love to read the comments. So have a good one, and I'll see you later. Group number two, this is what you're manifesting for this Capricorn new moon that's happening on Wednesday. Starting with your tarot cards, we're going to kind of see the general energies here. All right. Oh, we really got some new energy here. We have the Seven of Wands and the Fool card. So you are going to be starting something very new. New job, new living situation, new relationship, whichever. We'll get more clarity with the next cards, but you are in a place where you're starting something very, very new. And you might be in this place where you kind of feel like you have to defend yourself a little bit. Seven of Wands can very much come up as like being a bit defensive against starting something new, or maybe feeling like, oh, you know, I'm starting this new project, but I'm not as sure of myself as I would like to be. You're really starting from scratch. You might even feel a little bit like silly, like, oh, I'm trying to do this project, but it's actually kind of hard and I don't know what I'm doing yet. And you're feeling a little defensive, and Spirit doesn't want you to feel defensive. It's totally okay to start over, whether it be a new job, a new relationship, or a new house. You may not have all the information that you need right now because you're just a beginner. But us human beings, we're supposed to start over multiple times, and we convince everybody that we're supposed to be perfect at things and good with things all the time. And at the end of the day, that's just not true. We're not these stagnant creatures who are just supposed to be good at things and are not supposed to fail. And often failure is amazing because failure teaches us what we are pretty much what we need to change. And this is why I have a podcast episode called The Myth of Failure that talks all about the fact that I don't look at failures as a thing to be upset about. I look at it as something that says, oh, this isn't working and I'm going to go try something else. And that has gained me a lot of success in my life and a lot of other people's success in their life, because being afraid to fail really only comes from the fact that you think you're incapable of doing it. And so when you do fail the first time, you're like, oh, wow, so I'm not capable of doing this. Whereas if you look at it like, oh, I tried to do this, it didn't work, so now I'm going to try this. Okay, that didn't work, now I'm going to try this. There's going to be a bit of a struggle between you and the new path that you're choosing right now. There's going to be a little bit of drama there, a little bit of failing, a little bit of a struggle of you not knowing everything that you need to know. And that's okay. That's totally okay. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it makes you a more resilient and better person. So don't be afraid of it. Let's go ahead and look at these other cards here. So we have outside business. Setting healthy boundaries and is an important aspect of self-care. Don't be seduced by shortcuts and mixing business with pleasure that can lead to a conflict, betrayal, or of trust. So here, Spirit is asking, like, it's totally okay to, again, fail and set those boundaries, and overall don't get any like ideas about taking any shortcuts or any type of you know, quick fixes to your life. This is a journey. This is a long journey, and it's going to take a while to get to where you are. And again, that's okay. Sometimes we get really impatient and we end up shooting ourselves in the foot because we're so impatient. We want what we want, and we want it right now. And you don't have to do that. Be relaxed. It's going to be okay. I sense a lot of anxiety, like even just like doing this pile. I feel anxious even doing this pile, so I know that you're probably feeling pretty anxious in general. We also have tone it down. More is not always better. What do you need less of in your life? Whatever it is, it's calling for a more subtle approach to an influence change. So with the tone it down card, I imagine that maybe you're in this place where you're learning something new. Maybe you guys are starting college, or you're going back to college or night school after like not going to school for a very long time, or just starting something new that you don't feel like an expert in. And you don't have to take on so many responsibilities and things. Like a really great way to learn better is to look at the places in your life where you feel like you're giving too much, and to either delegate it to something else or to someone else, or to just cut that thing out of your life. Like, you know, you don't necessarily need to take 15 classes right now. Maybe you just take the one until you get that class down, or you don't necessarily need to buy a new house and then have a giant housewarming party or something like that. Maybe like just enjoying your house would be good. Don't stress yourself out more than you already are. Like, get yourself in a place where you're feeling confident to be able to put your concentration in where it needs to be the most right now. All right, let's go ahead and look at the moon cards. We have expected powerful change, the new moon eclipse, and conclusions are within reach. So I feel that for you, pile number 2, this is very much a beginning and an end for you. You're ending something, maybe like you're ending your place at a job, or maybe you're starting retirement, or maybe you're starting school, but you're ending something else. You know, you're starting a completely new chapter in your life. Which is leaving you feeling not your most confident self, which I totally understand. If this is the case, like, Spirit wants you to know that you're going to be okay no matter what. You're supposed to be on this journey, and you are doing the right thing and making the right decision. You don't have to worry about whether or not things are going to fail. That's a part of the process. Like, you're not going to fail. You will learn something new, and there will be times where you have to start over, but you're not going to fail. You're going to be fine. I also feel like for a lot of you, this is an ending to something, like something very bittersweet. Like, you might have ended a relationship and then moved out on your own. You might have, you know, stopped going to school for one major and started pursuing another, stopped one career and started pursuing another, or doing something particularly scary like starting your own business. I know a lot of people who follow me are like entrepreneurs or want to be entrepreneurs. So if that is the case, like, also give yourself the time to mourn what has been lost and what you have chosen to give up, because often as humans we kind of skip that step. We want to go straight into the new project, which I totally understand the enthusiasm, but sometimes we have to give ourselves time to mourn the loss of the things that we don't have, and to allow ourselves to have that time to actually mourn it and to let it go. Rituals in those ways is very, very powerful. So allowing yourself to let go of everything that you don't want to bring in to this Capricorn new moon might be something that you want to do, whether you script it or write it or whatever. Like, that may be something that you really want to do or have been thinking about doing. So that's kind of what I have for you on that front. I'm going to pull one more message here from a flower deck because it's so cute, and see what Spirit has to say. Any advice that Spirit has to you for something that you should do to make this transition easier for you, because that's the key word for pile number 2, transition. You are transitioning into a new phase in your life. Let's see here. Ooh, we have acceptance. Whew. Oh, I do feel like a lot of you are going through breakups or like something pretty volatile, and you're starting a brand new chapter in your life. And Spirit is saying that what you need to do is to accept that this is the new phase in your life. And acceptance is really, really, really hard. It's not easy. And in the stages of grief, it's the last stage for a reason. Often we need to be angry and upset and cry and get all that stuff out before we can actually accept what's happening. And for you, you are in this new phase in your life, and there might be things that you might have been holding on to that are not going to be a part of your life anymore. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to be upset about it. It's okay to be sad about it or angry about it, or even not accepting for a while. But ultimately, that acceptance of this new phase is what's going to propel you to be successful in the future. So allow yourself that time to get to the acceptance point by allowing yourself to mourn everything that you've lost up to this point, because it might have been a lot. And again, that's okay. You know, do what you have to do. But I promise you that nothing that this new phase is bringing into your life is going to be negative. It might be hard, but it's going to allow you to be exactly where you need to be and to be the person that exactly who you're supposed to be. So that's what I have for you, group number 2. Let me know if it resonates. Let me know what you're going through in your life right now. I love to read the comments, and I will see you later. Hello, group number 3. This is what you're manifesting for this Capricorn new moon. This is the energy that you're bringing in. This is what you're getting started on, all that good stuff. This is your reading. So let's start with the tarot cards and see what the general energy is. Ooh, okay. Nine of Pentacles and Ten of Wands. All right. Oh, you've been working hard, haven't you? Group number 3, you have been working. With this Ten of Wands, you have a lot of responsibilities right off the bat. You might be a mom and a teacher and a softball coach, or working multiple jobs, or having multiple responsibilities, or having multiple side hustles, but you have earned yourself some luxury and self-care, and that's what you're starting. That's what you're bringing in. You've earned yourself financial wealth. The Nine of Pentacles is like one of the best cards that have to deal with financial wealth and luxury and being able to be independent and stand on your own. It's bittersweet for you because I feel as though a lot of you, on the one hand, you're getting the wealth and the money that you want, but you have a lot of burdens and responsibilities that you are also bringing into this Capricorn new moon. This is Capricorn, after all, one of the most hardworking signs that there is. So you're bringing into this Capricorn new moon a lot of responsibilities. You have a lot on your shoulders right now, but you're also creating long-lasting wealth. So it's not all bad here. A lot of you guys are probably going to be taking a little bit of time to deal with yourself, to have self-care, to take care of yourself, and to just rest in general, while also working towards your future. Some of you might even be moving with all of these bags. So I also see that for a good amount of you, but this is about long-term wealth. You're really creating some pretty long-term wealth for yourself, and that's gorgeous. I love that. Let's go ahead and look at these 2 cards here. So you have illusion. When you attach yourself to the illusion, you risk riding the roller coaster of pain and pleasure. You can choose to expand your view of reality or move beyond the illusion. So Spirit is kind of asking you, is there any illusion to success that you are holding on to that you realize is actually not good for you? Like, if success for you means never sleeping and not taking care of yourself, then this might be the time where you really need to kind of relook at that and really relook at your values. This Capricorn new moon might bring up a lot about your values and what you value. Like, you know, working super hard isn't necessarily the best way to always get things, and sometimes you might have to get into that feminine energy and learn how to attract things rather than to constantly have your foot in working to get it. It's a very masculine way of looking at things, which is not bad at all. You need both to be successful, but sometimes when you're doing so much masculine, you're not attracting anything in. You're working 10 times harder than you have to. So in this case, if the thing that you were looking for in life, is there any illusions about success that you need to look at that may not necessarily be what is actually going to be helping you be successful? Maybe like you feel like you only can sleep 4 hours a day, you got to work 70 hours a week, but do you actually have to do that? We also have this rejection card. Rejection is a part of the journey. It helps us build self-worth. No one has ever succeeded in life without first facing rejection. Take time to cool off and don't take rejection personally. So I believe that there are some of you who have been rejected lately by someone, whether it be like relationship wise or job wise or something like that, and Spirit's kind of being like, that rejection is going to propel you forward. You know, you are getting to a place where you can be completely independent. Like, you're opening that self up to you, so it's not like your hard work hasn't paid off. But if you're still worried about how people feel about you, and how they have rejected you in the past, or you've been rejected recently, this is not something that you need to bring into the next phase of your life, into this next phase. Instead, the rejection, as much as it sucks to be rejected in general, is not necessarily something that is going to carry over for the rest of this period of time for this Capricorn new moon. So as much as it does suck, remember that this is not going to be what defines this next phase of your life. Go ahead and look at here. We have the full moon in Capricorn, an end to tough cycles approaches, right? I do feel like you guys do have some Capricorn in you. If you have Capricorn permanent placements or just earth sign heavy, because you have the Virgo new moon here as well. So you might just be very earth sign heavy. You might have some earth sign, maybe not. But I feel like you have worked your butt off to get to where you are. And you are finally at a place where you get to end this tough cycle. And this really tough place in your life where you feel like you had to work and work and work and work, and you just are just very tired. I feel like these last few years have been very hard on you. I feel like these last few years have been very intense for you, and you've gotten no breaks. And it's like, what is it all for? But what's it for is to be able to have that independence and that wealth and that self-care, so that you actually get the things that you deserve. And I feel like that's some truth there. We also have this new moon in Virgo. It says a time to give rather than to take. So now that you have all this, and now that you're starting this new chapter in your life, you might want to give back. This might be a time for you to reconnect with your family, your friends, the people in your life, to find love. You know, maybe you have prioritized work and money and your more career life, but you haven't necessarily put a lot of focus into your love life and to your familiar life and your life with your friends and things like that. You have not put as much focus on that because you were focusing on something else, which is totally okay. But now you're at a place where you can kind of breathe. And that's what this Capricorn new moon is manifesting for you. It's manifesting a time for you to be able to breathe, for you to relax, for you to get connected with other people, and for you not to work as hard as you've been working. You need a break. Pile number 3. You need a break from life. Life has been beating you up and you need a break. I can sense it. Let's go ahead and pull out an advice card, see what Spirit wants you to do with all of this information now. Emotions, yes. Get in touch with your emotions. Get in touch with your feminine. Get in touch with the relationships that you have with people. Getting in touch with all of that ooey gushy stuff that you probably don't like getting entangled in, because I really do feel like a lot of you guys are just very heavy earth in your chart. Getting in touch with that, and getting in touch with your friends and family and potential love interest, or getting close to a love interest, is going to be a huge focus. You are moving out of the phase of your life where everything is about the practical work and becoming successful, and moving into having different values that really does include your relationship with other people. So that's what I have for you, group number 3. Let me know if it resonates. Let me know what you've been going through. I want to hear it all. And yeah, I will catch you later. This is what you're manifesting for this Capricorn new moon. Starting out with your tarot cards, let's go ahead and see what is going on. Ooh, ooh! You got the Queen of Cups and the Empress. Some of y'all gonna be pregnant. I'm not saying all of y'all, but some of you guys are gonna be pregnant. And honestly, it makes sense because in astrology, if you are a Cancer rising or a Taurus, or not a Taurus, a Cancer rising or a Virgo rising, pregnancy or a relationship is very, very much on the table for you. And the Empress tends to represent pregnancy in general. So the Queen of Cups, I feel like a lot of you guys are, you know, divine feminines. I feel like this is going to be a time in your life where you are really dedicating yourself to emotional mastery and nurturing. Like, you're nurturing a relationship, you're nurturing you know, your friends, you're nurturing, like, I really feel like a lot of this has to do with like romantic stuff, but if not, you know, you're really kind of nurturing your life. Or you might be intuitive and creative, or, you know, starting this new chapter where you're starting to actually trust your intuition and things of that sort. The Empress is an amazing card because it talks about abundance, you know. A lot of it has to do with, you know, pregnancy and things like that, but also financial abundance and just being in an abundant state of mind. So this is the chapter that you're starting. I love this, group number 4. This is great. Let's go ahead and look at these cards here. We got divine timing. You can relax now. Stop worrying that there are many powerful, enlightening, loving beings coming your way to assist. Your future is bright and totally flawless. You're opening up this new chapter of beauty and love and this amazing place in your life. You really don't have a lot to worry about, but you might be feeling guarded, like it's too good to be true. I could totally see that. Especially if you have been given the crappy end of the stick over this last few years. You know, it says having walls up doesn't protect you from hurt, but it actually keeps you from getting the very thing you want. So if you are guarded, evaluate if you are getting what you want out of life. I feel like you have been manifesting so hard and working with spirit, and I feel like a lot of you are already very spiritual, already very intuitive. And it's like spirit wants to bless you so much right now and wants to give you so much, but you are so afraid that it's too good to be true and you are holding yourself back from your own blessings. Group number 4, you have to stop doing this. You have to move out of this space because it's not helping you at all. It's putting you in a place where you're missing out on your blessings. And like with this Empress card and the Queen of Cups, like there's so many blessings, emotional blessings, blessings in love, blessings with wealth that spirit is trying to give you, but you're like, it's too good to be true. It's just going to get messed up again. Like you're holding yourself back. Don't do that. Like spirit is trying to give you everything that you want right now. Now is the time to relax and receive and say yes to what's coming your way rather than trying to question it, pick it apart, figure out everything that's wrong with it or what could possibly go wrong. I feel like a lot of you have people in your life, relationships that are showing up in your life that you are guarding yourself against. And Spirit's been trying to bless you. You've been trying to manifest a relationship, trying to manifest a baby, trying to manifest wealth, and Spirit's trying to bless you, and you're like guarded and choosing to look the other way. Don't do that. Spirit's trying to give you everything that you've been wanting to have for a very long time. Let's go ahead and look at these cards here. Yeah, work through your fears. Exactly. And confidence is the key. So you have the Leo new moon. Like Leo, the sign of Leo is not afraid. They are loud and receiving, and they believe that they are deserving of everything they have. They are the sign of royalty. You need to say yes to the blessings that are coming your way, because this Capricorn new moon for you is going to manifest a lot of really positive things in your life, and you have to say yes to it. You have to feel like you're deserving of it, more than deserving of it. But in order to do that, you have to work through these fears that things are going to be taken away from you. Maybe you've lived in your life, you've been in a place in your life where you felt like people have let you down. You've had you had money, but it was taken away from you. And of course, bad things happen in life in general. That's just the nature of the beast. However, you are holding yourself back from your blessings, group number 4. And this isn't the time to do that. This is the time to say yes to your blessings, to say yes to life, to say yes to that relationship, to say yes to that job. Even if it seems like it's crazy, even if it seems like it's, out of your depth, it's probably not. It's probably not out of your depth at all. You've probably been secretly manifesting this and working on this the entire time. But in order for manifestation to truly work, you have to let go of any kind of holding on to the outcome and let it fly. Very much like a bird. If you send a messenger and put it on a bird and it cannot get to where it's supposed to go, if you keep holding on to the bird, you have to let it fly. If you had a particular dream or you're trying to get into a relationship right now that you have manifested it and worked on yourself, the only thing that you need to do, group number 4, is to allow that to come to you now. Relax. Allow it to come to you. Allow it to allow yourself to receive it. Because often the reception of the thing that we want can be very, very scary, especially when we're trying to manifest things that previously, before, we didn't think that we deserved. And you 100% deserve it, but you have to truly believe that, and that's difficult. Let's go ahead and pull out some advice, what Spirit will want you to do. We have transformation and intimacy. They both came out at the same time, so I'm going to take them. Transformation. You have to allow yourself to transform. If you've been wanting to be a particular type of person, with particular types of trait. Like you want to be beautiful, successful, you want to be productive, you want to be in a relationship with the person of your dreams, you want to be have enough money, you have $10,000 in your bank account, right? You have to become that person, which means that you have to believe that you can have that. And you have to transform yourself into a person who is worthy of having that. And this isn't to say that anybody else thinks you're unworthy. It's you. You have that thought process in the back of your head that's kind of holding you back. And then we also have this intimacy card that talks about getting intimate with other people. I feel like a lot of you are trying to manifest a relationship and you're afraid of the very thing that you're trying to get. Like you find somebody who treats you well, they are kind to you, they are, or they're right just around the corner, and you're like, I'm not ready for that kind of intimacy. And, you know, it might come in a different unexpected place. Like you might have a friend that you're dealing with that you would never think you could be in a relationship with, but you can. I mean, like even my mom recently just got engaged, and this person was her friend for a very long time, and then after she worked through her own fears of intimacy and said yes to that kind of earth-shattering, loving, beautiful relationship, she was able to get engaged. She's getting married. She's well in her 50s with a man that treats her like gold. You know, you have to say yes to that. And I feel like a lot of you are have relationships that you're manifesting, and it's like you're saying no to them because you're like, I don't know this person. I don't know if I like them. Like you're secretly blocking your blessings because you're not allowing yourself to just be open to whatever happens, and you're not removing yourself from the outcome. So that's something that you need to work on, group number 4. And if you do, this chapter, this Capricorn new moon chapter in your life will be beautiful. It will be absolutely gorgeous, and it will be something that you will remember for a lifetime because you're going to be really getting the things that you want. This is a very overwhelmingly positive group, so I really want to hear what you're going through and what these next 2 weeks are going to bring for you. And with all that being said, I will see you later. Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you are, and I'll catch you later.